Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. 8:34 a.m. news and views right here on Salam Media, and time for some good news. Alhamdulillah, for a change, I might add. We're going to be talking with Shaheen Essop from SAHUC, and he's going to share some very good news with us. SAHUC is going to be accrediting 1,000 more pilgrims from the ready to go list. Now, let's understand why this has happened. What is the ready to go list? And are you hoping and praying that you're going to be on the list? How do they come up with the list? So all of that and more is going to be answered by Brother Shaheen Essop. Assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan, Julie, for the opportunity. Thanks to Salam Media, and salam alaikum to all the listeners out there, inshallah.
All right, we're now talking about something new. First time I'm hearing about it, and that is the ready to go list. Is this separate to the initial Hujjaj that were accredited? Have they all been accredited and accepted, and they all packed and ready to go? When, how does this ready to go list come about? What does it mean?
Okay, so let's take half a step back, Julie. First of all, if we look at the quota that we received at the beginning of the year, that's 2,500. We've accredited 2,500 people. The unfortunate thing is that we've had to go through about almost 6,000 people, to get to the list of 2,500 accepted pilgrims, to make sure that these people are going to go. Obviously, different factors, affect it. People who don't have their logistics in place, or otherwise people who don't have the finances would, otherwise be declining their accreditation as a result. So in order for us to, ensure that if we do get an increase in the quota, what we then did is we, about a month ago, 9th and 10th of April, we reached out to the public and we said, all those people who are ready to go, who have the finances, who have the logistics in place, give us your indication, give us your name, give us your application number and your date of application so that we can create this list. In the event we get an increase in the quota, we don't have to go through maybe 4,000 people to fill 1,000 spaces. We won't have the luxury of time as a result of the not knowing when the quota will be provided or when the quota will be released to South Africa. And alhamdulillah, yesterday was obviously positive and good news in this regard. But let's bear in mind where we are in the month of Shawwal. And the first pilgrims are going to be departing around about the 21st or 22nd of May. That's when we start with the 6-week and the 5-week and the 4-week and the 3-week and the 2-week departures. So we need to be cognizant of the fact that we don't have the luxury of time for people to be accredited. Whilst we welcome the quota, we also don't want to be in a situation where the quota is sent back half filled, or the quota is sent back that we haven't filled it. So we created this list. We've got in excess of 2,000 names on the list, stretching from the earliest date of application to around about the 31st of December 2022, because that's where we basically closed it off. We closed it off at the 31st of December 2022. So I'm not saying that all of those people are going to go. We only have 1,000 spaces that we are going to fill, but we are going to work on date and time priority to make sure that they are still maintaining a chronological order in terms of the accreditation process.
Let me just understand this correctly, Shaheen. Are you saying that this 1,000 pilgrims from the ready to go list is separate to the 2,500 quota that was given to you by the Hajj authorities? Is it
Yes,
over
that's
and
correct.
above of that? Oh, wow.
Yes, our total quota is going to be 3,500 for the year.
Alhamdulillah. So you've explained very nicely how you came to the 1,000 pilgrims. Have they all accepted? Or are you still waiting for acceptance from the people on the ready to go list, the 1,000 people on that ready to go list?
So SAHUC hasn't rolled out the accreditation to this 1,000 people as yet. Remember, we only got notification of this yesterday. There's a lot of admin, sort of structures that need to be put into place. Firstly, we need to make sure that the list is properly sanitized, that people who are on the list, are genuinely there as first-time applicants. We do not want to find that we are accrediting repeat applicants for no reason. So, we're going through the sanity checks in that particular way. Secondly, what we're also doing is we're waiting for the operators to put out into the platform, their packages that they are going to offer. I think that, Hujjaj who are on this ready to go list must resign themselves from the fact that they can go for 6 weeks or for 5 weeks. I don't think time is going to be optimal in this regard, because it takes almost 2 weeks for, applicant to accept the accreditation within a few days, and then the administrative processes in the background with the operator takes place, and that in itself is about a 10-day period. So we're looking at trying to get this out as fast as possible. But the most important thing is, I think people must accept the fact that operators will only be offering 4-week, 3-week, and 2-week packages out there.
And I guess what's very important in this regard is that because SAHUC has interacted with the Hajj the Hajj ministry, you were given the additional 1,000 to add to your quota of 2,500. And it's very important that we fulfill this, because if not, they're not going to consider future requests from SAHUC to increase the list. Would I be correct in thinking that?
100% so, because you see, we've been given a deadline, first of all, with that 2,500, and we needed to show them that our 2,500 was filled, and alhamdulillah, that was done. And as a result of that, we were then, graciously provided with the additional numbers. We certainly want to make sure that we fill the quota, and I do believe that we can fill the quota. Alhamdulillah, there's no issue with regards to that. The problem that we need to understand is that Hujjaj are going to have to come to the table, and accept accreditation within a short space of time, do the necessary payments, and do the necessary contracting with the operator in order not to delay or retard the process for visas to be issued, so that people can get onto their planes to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for Hajj.
Okay, Sister Mariam is asking, why can't the list be released instead of people anxiously awaiting an SMS? She's obviously
Well,
referring to the 1,000 additional pilgrims on the ready-to-go list.
Well, the first and most important factor is that the packages need to be out, because you can't expect a package that was put out in February of 2023 to be available at the same rates or at the same levels now. Much has changed in terms of the dynamics of that package. First of all, the rates in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia may change. Secondly, the rand-dollar exchange rate may have weakened considerably, and as a result of that, you've got to put functionality into the whole perspective. There's also the costs from the Muassasa and from the Ministry of Hajj that need to be borne in mind and made sure that people understand that. The unfortunate thing is that if we put an accreditation list out, or if we release the accreditation list, there is no product that the pilgrim or the prospective pilgrim can actually choose from at this point in time. So by tonight, inshallah, by tomorrow for the latest, the operators will be ready with whatever they need to be ready with. And inshallah, we're hoping that by Friday, we can start with the SMSs out to the prospective 1,000 pilgrims.
Shaheen, you have already identified operators, have you not, for the 2,500 pilgrims that have been accredited? Could you not go back to the same people? Are they not? Do they not have the infrastructure and logistics in place just to, do a very smooth operation and try and assist these 1,000? Or is it way bigger than that?
No, Julie. I think we're misunderstanding the point here. The 7 accredited operators are the 7 accredited operators that are going to be offering packages. So they're going to be offering the packages to the public out there for this 1,000 pilgrims. But they also need to make sure that they secure the accommodation in the kingdom. They can't sell a package or put a package on the table that they don't have secured in Saudi Arabia. Because can you imagine now that, Salam Media puts a package out on the table, but they haven't contacted their counterparts in the kingdom, or they haven't contacted the hotels in the kingdom to secure those rooms or to secure whatever numbers that they think they're going to get. So these are all things that the public must understand, that haste is waste. And we have to do it in perspective, from a point of view that once we put it into perspective and once the wheel starts turning, then there's no turning back that wheel. We need to ensure that everything is done, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and making sure that there are no glitches in this regard.
Okay, I might have misunderstood you. Let me just ask this question a little differently. The 2,500 people that have already been accredited, have they already secured their packages? And are those operators different to the operators that are going to be working with 1,000 pilgrims on the ready-to-go list? And if so, why? Would it not just make more sense to go with the operators that service the first 2,500 people?
Yes, I just explained that. So the 2,500 people have contracted with 7 operators. Those same 7 operators are the ones that will be putting a package out for this 1,000 pilgrims that are due to be accredited.
So it can't be the same package. Is that what you're telling me? That it is so fluid, it changes from day to day because of rand dollar
100%.
exchange, etc., etc. So if my
100%, Julie.
let's assume if my sister was on the on the initial list and her package cost 100,000, for example, and I am now on the ready to go list, I should be prepared to possibly pay 120 or 150,000 rand for my package because of the changes in the market, the changes that you've alluded to.
The dynamics change on a daily basis, and for all intents and purposes, you could find that some of the rates in the kingdom may come down in terms of room rate. So, one needs to look at the possibility in terms of the packages. But the big factor and the fundamental overarching issue is the rand dollar exchange rate.
Mhm.
Rand dollar exchange rate went down. If, for example, we got this accreditation 10 days ago, the rand dollar exchange rate hovered between 1790 and 1810. Right now, the rand dollar exchange rate is hovering at 1860. So
You.
there's a marked difference in
Mhm.
the process around that, and I think it's unfair to expect the operator to actually give you the package at the same price that they offered the package in February. We're currently sitting in May, so a tremendous amount has changed.
Fully understood. Okay, it's frightening how these exchange rates has such a huge impact on us, especially especially for those people who are traveling, and very especially for Hajj. But what would you say, Shaheen? We know that COVID and other global issues has really created this problem, this really expensive undertaking for us as Muslims to go on Hajj. Um, Off the top of your head, what would you say? What percentage are we paying more for Hajj and Umrah comparing with pre-COVID rates? I'm just
Oh, at
kind of,
least 30.
I'm just trying to ask to understand just how much more it's going to be costing people going forward.
Well, it's a significant increase. The problem, unfortunately, is that if we look at the rand dollar exchange rate, let's call it in 2018 or 2019, you're sitting with a major difference. Let's just look at rand dollar exchange rate in 2019. In 2019, you're looking at at a significantly lower rand dollar exchange rate by comparison to where you are now. I'm just trying to find it quickly on my phone. Give me 1 second. I'll tell you right now. Give me 1 second.
And I know you'll come up with the right answer. That is why I've put that question to you, not to trip you up, but just to kind of get an understanding. And the fact that, in the past, and I know that you and I've had a discussion around this, there was this perception that tour operators are making a killing out of Umrah and Hajj packages. But we know that that is not necessarily the case. We do
Well,
know
there's
that the reason is because of these type of factors, the exchange rate. Plus, prices have gone up dramatically in the kingdom. Prices of food, accommodation, services, etc., etc., etc.
so let's look at the best exchange rate in 2019. That was on the 19th of August 2019 at 15.45.
Ooh,
15 rand
okay.
45 is what it cost you to a rand to a dollar. Now, if you look at that versus 18, in fact, I looked at the current price now, is 18.72. So you're already looking at a significant increase in the cost in the exchange rate fluctuation from that particular point of view. You sit with a situation, for example, where there's a scarcity of international flights in and out of South Africa. Just to give you an example, in January, when we went over to meet with the Ministry of Hajj and its affiliates, we normally pay between 10 and 12,000 rand for our tickets. In January of this year, we paid 26,000 rand for our ticket,
Hmm.
and that tells you that there is significant increases in different factors and in different contributing aspects relating to a package of Hajj. Now, that in itself, coupled with the fact that the hotels in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are charging exorbitant rates. I went for Umrah in March of this year, and Alhamdulillah, managed as the rate increased by at least 50% from what I had originally booked. So you book at one rate, the rate goes up 50%. You've just got to take the funds out and you've got to go with it.
Sure. Okay, let's wrap up then. Thank you for explaining all of that, because it's very worrisome for us here. But it's not only us as South Africans that sit in this dilemma. It seems that this is happening all around the world. I came across a posting from someone in the UK who has also suggested that their packages are costing 50% and more as compared to pre-COVID times. So this is a
And there,
reality all around the world.
sorry, Julianne, there you're finding that there's no operators in the United
Yes.
Kingdom. The clients are actually having to apply directly to Saudi Arabia. So they don't have the service of the operator. They don't have the service or the luxury of religious group leaders as we have in the country. And right now, as we stand, the pilgrims of the United Kingdom still don't know, whether they are going to be ready for Hajj or not, because the system is not open for them as such, and the
Yes,
system
I'm
is not
aware of that.
conducive. Yeah.
I'm aware of that, and it's very, very worrying for those people. They've been complaining bitterly about it, but it seems that the complaints have fallen on deaf ears. So we should say shukr alhamdulillah for the situation we find ourselves here in South Africa. Let's leave it there. Any closing remarks from you, Shaheen?
No, I think, first of all, we make shukr to Allah for the increase that we've received, and we are going to roll it out sooner rather than later. We appeal to all those pilgrims out there that are on the list. If you do get the SMS and you are accredited as a result of the 1,000 ready to go list, please conclude all your processes as soon as possible. We don't have the luxury of time, and any delay is going to cause a ripple effect on the downstream processes, which could jeopardize not only your acquiring of a visa, but the other people in the process as well.
Inshallah. Shukran very much for clarifying all of those points this morning. Regarding the 1,000 pilgrims from the ready to go list, and also, of course, our original quota of 2,500 people who have already booked their packages. So, undoubtedly, closer to the time, we will be talking more. You go well. Keep us in your du'as, inshallah. And assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan once again for the opportunity.
That was Shaheen Essop from SAHUC, clarifying the issue around the 2,500 original people on the quota list, and of course now an added 1,000 pilgrims from the ready to go list. Hope you understood that. I asked for clarification because I was a little uncertain as to what he was alluding to, but shukran, he did clarify that quite succinctly. It is exactly 8:51 a.m. News and views right here on Salam Media. Let's see, guys, if we can get hold of Matakanye. Matakanye, he's the chairperson of the National Association of School Governing Bodies. We want to look at the issue around the viral energy drink called Prime.